Real quick, before we get started, we have something really cool we want to remind you about.
Artist and friend of the channel, Gold Sabertooth, has a Kickstarter, the Commander Pantheon, that's wrapping up this week.
That means this is your last chance to order these playmats featuring 9 iconic commanders drawn in his incredible, unique style.
Some of my personal favorites are the Kraken Sakashima, the Magda, the Rograk Silas, and of course, the Kinnan.
You can also get limited edition stickers and shirts through the campaign as well.
This is the last week that the campaign is running, so use our link in the description below to let Gold Sabertooth know that we sent you.
Now let's get into the video. Welcome to Play to Win, where we play to win. I'm Dylan.
And I'm Cam. This week, we're joined by our patron, Mark Cirillo, who's been a member of our highest tier on Patreon for a year, so this is his episode.
Mark got to choose everything about this episode, including the music and the guests, so we're also joined by Luca today.
Okay, I just start saying stuff?
Yeah, whenever you're ready.
I don't have any social medias really, but I always hang out in the Discords. I'm pretty popular in the at least I'm there in the Rakdos Discord for Rakdos the Muscle. But the main thing I wanted to shout out is what Luca has been doing for the cEDH scene in Colorado. So, Luca.
Hi, everyone. My name is Luca, and I go by Zephyr EX Online. And I am a TO and a co-owner of fabled.events, which does a lot of cEDH events in Colorado. We have an upcoming event called Snowy Summit 2. You may have heard of Snowy Summit 1, so come join us on that if you want to come play some cEDH. February 1st.
Denver, Colorado.
This video is brought to you in part by Dragon Shield. Use code PLAYTOWIN5 at the affiliate link down below for 5% off to help support the show.
And check us out on Patreon to support us directly and get awesome extra perks like being able to submit your deck for us to play on the channel at our $100 tier.
So we have Luca on Malcolm Vile Smasher. Who else up smashing they vile? Mark is on scam.exe. I'm playing Glarb, his moistness, submitted by our patron Nick Foles Goat09, and Cam is on Timna Thrasios. The RC stole my breakfast, a list submitted by our patron Kawaja. I have a pregame.
Okay.
Just jump some cow runs. I'm gonna pitch this pact negation.
Sounds good.
I feel so safe now going to
That's my luck counter.
Can I say I'm behind yet?
Drop a turn. Marsh flats and pass the turn.
Untap, upkeep, draw. Luxury Suite. Cast just this Imp Seal.
Go with me.
Me too.
Imp Seal's good. I'm gonna go search for a card, lose 2. I'll be at 38. I'm gonna pass.
Draw card. Mana Confluence and a lose a life for a Polywog Prodigy. Go ahead.
I'll draw. Oh, interesting. Polluted Delta and crack it. Go to 39. Scrubland. Esper Sentinel.
Spawn Esper Sentinel. I'm going to fetch for an Underground Sea and cast a Mystical Tutor.
Good by me.
Yeah.
Going to 39.
Cool. Good by me. Polywog Prodigy. What a good card.
Sucks.
You know, this hand sucks when you have to Mystical Tutor for Demonic Tutor.
How's my Esper Sentinel feel for everyone?
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm good on it.
I'll pass the turn then.
Okay. Untap, drop return, Misty Rainforest. Crack it, go get Volcanic Island, and cast a Demonic Tutor.
May I draw?
Yeah, you got it. And then I'm passing.
Oh, okay, sure. Untap, upkeep, draw. Play the Swamp. I'm gonna cast this Soul Ring.
May I draw?
Yeah, you can draw.
Cool.
Tap this Soul Ring floating 1 for this Mana Vault. I should have done this first, but I'm a fool. Dragon's Rage Channeler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if Dragon's Rage Channeler is good, I'll tap this and use this 1 floating to try to cast a 1 ring.
Wow.
Dragon's Rage Challenge.
Trigger the Dragon's Rage Channeler.
Yeah, all good.
I'll keep that on top. Yeah, I have protection. With that, I will just pass my turn.
Untap, upkeep, draw card. Oh, I am having big regrets. Cast Deathrite Shaman. Does not evolve.
Oh, no.
Pass turn.
I will get a draw. Get a Misty Rainforest. Crack it. Drop. Mana Vault. The 1 ring.
That's so funny. Both of you are Man of One Ring.
No, I'm good.
I'm passing on it.
Yeah, I passed.
I have protection, and then I will pass.
Untap, upkeep.
Before you untap, I'm just gonna draw my
Okay.
card. I'm just drawing my card now. That's it.
Making a
That's
little
all I'm
scared,
doing.
Mark. A little scared.
That's all I'm doing. Hey, you have Bowmasters, all right?
Drop return. I think that's fair. Polluted Delta. At least for hidden land drops. Cast a Mystic Remora.
Trigger.
Yep.
Cool.
Okay, pass turn.
Let's untap. In my upkeep, I have a 1 ring trigger. So I'll take the 1, go into 37. Now we have the draw trigger to lose a life. I am at 36. Activate the 1 ring to draw 2.
Cool.
Well, I did hit a land, but it's a Crystal Vein. Cast a Dark Rit.
Trigger.
Trigger.
Go for it.
I'll draw 1 real quick.
I want to surveil Poxwalkers into my graveyard. And then we can go to Dark Rit resolving,
Go with me.
Sure.
and then casting Rakdos, which will have a Poxwalker trigger.
Yep.
Tap this Soul Ring, cast this Altar of Dementia.
Trigger Mystic Remora.
Yeah, go for it.
I'm going to force of negation pitching Ristic Study, which feels absolutely terrible.
Oh, no.
2 triggers.
I'm going to pay for cams.
Can I draw?
I guess I'll respond to the draw. I see value in activating Rakdos, sacrificing Poxwalker. We'll target my own library. Exile 3, it's a Carrion Feeder, a Crick, and a Priest of Urbrask.
Okay. Draw a card.
And now force.
Altar of Dementia is Force of Neg.
Poxwalker is really great in this deck, so I feel like stopping the sack outlet so the Poxwalker just doesn't get tons of value over and over again is like best thing to do in this situation.
We got it. This is well timed.
I'm good. I'm chilling. I think I'll just move to end step, and these guys will stay in exile.
Untap, upkeep, draw a card. I'm gonna hit Misty Rainforest with the Deathrite Shaman. And I'll lose a life with Mana Confluence, and I'll cast Glarb. ETB, trigger Polywog Prodigy, evolve, 2 power, more than 1. Look at the top. I will play a land from the top of my library with Glarb. It's a Misty Rainforest. Look at the top. I'm gonna crack my Misty Rainforest. Lose life. I'll find Underground Sea, and I will look at the top with Glarb, and I'll pass my turn. I do want to point out the irony that we've been talking so much about how we personally think the metagame is very, very fast, and now I think like the last 3 episodes have been like Ristic Study Grindfest, basically. This one doesn't have actual Ristic Study, but a bunch of cards that look like Ristic Study. When Rocksai's at the table, it is different.
It is kind of funny how Rocksai just like warps the game around itself in that way. Whereas like normally against Rocksai, a hand that has turn 1 Esper Sentinel, turn 2 the One Ring, I could just very well lose the game because I kept that hand. But like I feel like I actually have room to breathe and have the ability to untap on turn 3 on going forth here too. Yes. On my upkeep, I'll lose 1 to the One Ring going down to 37, and then on my draw, I'll lose another 1 to Mana Vault going down to 36. Windswept Teeth for turn, and I'll crack it going down to 35. Let's go get Bayou. Draw 2 cards. Here's an Arcane Signet. Trigger Fish, not Pain.
Draw a card.
Delighted Halfling. Move to my end step.
I should fetch. 37.
Now, there's a correct answer to what to fetch here.
Okay, Mark.
Can't believe you're not on the free time walk.
Instant speed, fetchable.
I should
Exactly.
be. Like, actually, it is a mistake not to play it, and it's embarrassing that I can't fetch for it right now.
It would have been so good.
I know. I know.
Am I good to discard?
You are good.
Verdant Catacombs, my 4th fetch land of the game.
That's right, always on.
On tap upkeep, I have a Mystic Remora trigger, which I think I'm going to pay for. Draw for turn. Another land. That's great. Soul Ring.
Oh, nice. Polywog Prodigy trigger draw.
Yeah.
First one of the game, baby.
And an Esper Sentinel trigger. Yeah, you got it. I'm casting Malcolm, and then I'm passing.
Untap. All right, Metavol, you're going over here. In my upkeep, I will have 2 damage from the One Ring, and then I will draw, and I'll lose another one. Which first things first, let's activate that One Ring.
I pass.
Nice.
Yep.
I will play this horrendous land known as a Badlands. Very bad.
Naughty.
I'm gonna exile this Rite of Flame to evoke this Fury.
Oh,
Creatures
are
wow.
screwed.
I pass party.
Me too.
Me too.
I'll stack it so ETB resolves, then Sacrifice resolves. Mark a damage on Esper. Mark 2 damage on Deathrite.
Don't forget that Malcolm is there too. I understand wanting to kill the Deathrite.
I'm gonna hit the Esper. My reasoning is just the Esper's more value overall. Luca's not the scary person.
Yeah, I'm not the scary person.
It'll sacrifice, that'll trigger Rakdos, I'll target myself. 5 cards. Mox Diamond, Lotus Petal, Underworld Breach, Reckless Barbarian, Scalding Tarn.
Oh, God.
Does seem good. Sometimes the hits with this deck are like the ones in last turn where you get stuff that you can't do anything like that Kuruk and stuff. And then sometimes the hits are fucking insane like this one.
Tap and crack this Crystal Vein for 2. Hey, here's a Breach.
Trigger Mystic Remora.
Go for it. There's also a Poxwalker trigger to come back.
I'll respond to the Poxwalker. No, you're good to draw Mystic Remora.
Okay.
I'm going to cast Fierce Guardianship on Underworld Breach.
Trigger.
You can draw.
I will draw.
I also have a DRC trigger.
Yeah, I'm responding to it.
I'm okay with that. So now we have a DRC trigger. Yeah, I'll keep that card on top. Good to resolve the Poxwalker trigger to come back.
Poxwalker is just so nutty in this deck.
Activate Rakdos, sacrificing Poxwalkers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exile top 3. Forsaken Miner, reanimate Grief. Exile this Withering Torment and cast this Grief.
I pass on Grief.
I pass on Grief.
I pass on Grief.
There's a Poxwalker trigger before that.
Yep. On the
Okay,
cast.
yep.
Poxwalker will come back. I'm going to look at Dylan's hand. Well, it is revealed.
I'm going to respond to the trigger.
Yes, I'm targeting you to reveal your hand.
Does anyone think that I shouldn't Chain of Vapor here? Because he's going to get to copy the Chain of Vapor, but I think I should try to bounce the commander.
That can only be good, right?
I think that's a good thing.
I want
Yeah.
to make sure, in case anyone's thinking of something I'm not. I'll respond to the grief and I will. Man, this sucks. Oh yeah, I'll cast Chain of Vapor targeting your Rakdos.
Fish trigger.
You can draw.
Draw a card.
I'm gonna do some shenanigans.
Figured you'd be shenanizing.
You can draw, try to pyroblast the chain.
Polywog Prodigy trigger.
Yes, I also have a DRC surveil trigger. I'm leaving this card on top.
All right, I will respond then. I'm going to Fierce Guardianship the Pyroblast.
Sacrifice the DRC and cast this flare.
I got another trigger.
You do get another trigger. I also have a trigger.
I'm going to draw a card then.
I now have a Rakdos trigger for 1. The card revealed is a Saw in Half.
That's good.
But Dockside's bad. It's bad.
Flare of Duplication targeting the Fierce Guardianship. I'll make a copy of Fierce. That Fierce will target the original Chain of Vapor.
Pyroblast is coming at my Chain of Vapor, and now that other Fierce Guardianship is also coming at my Chain of Vapor.
Yeah, because my Fierce is trying to counter his Pyroblast.
I pass.
I passed.
I pass.
Grief resolves the trigger?
Yeah.
Oh god, okay, this sucks. Take a look at my hand.
I'd like you to discard ad nauseum.
Okay, are you sure? Are you positive?
I think I'm positive.
Okay.
So Grief gets sacrificed, Rakdos trigger for 4. 3 lands and a Simian. Cast this Mox Diamond.
Polywog Prodigy?
I'm not paying for anything.
I will draw.
I draw as well.
I'll discard this Blood Crypt. I'm gonna cast this Lotus Petal.
Triggers.
Ribbit, ribbit.
for it.
Draw a card.
2 to cast this Reckless Barbarian. I will activate it. Sacrificing. There's a Rakdos trigger.
Lands.
Land. I hate
Let's
it.
go. Let's go.
Okay, spend a mana. There's nothing I can do to really continue this, but I'm gonna try to cast this Reanimate. This Grief.
Polywog Prodigy.
Yeah, go for it.
Go with me.
That's sick. What is this? Legacy?
I got nothing to say about that.
That's good. Grief will be reanimated. I'll lose 4, going to 29. Grief ETB, I'll target Luca.
Here's my hand. You all ready? Here we go. Witch Claw, Value Flood Collar, Intuition, Lotus Petal, Land, Opposition Agent, Reanimate, Thassa's Oracle, Landside Diamond, the One Ring, Land, Talisman.
Oh my god.
How to win attempts.
Okay, let's have you discard the Intuition.
Intuition is gone.
For my next trick, I would like to cast this Saw in Half, targeting my Grief.
Trigger Mystic Gamora.
Mr. Gamora is good.
It's another land, yay.
Is Saw in Half good to resolve?
This is like a Legacy Plus right now. What's happening?
This deck is called Scam.exe. It is just Scam. I will make 2 copies of the Griefs. Both ETBs will target Luca. I think it's Wish Claw the One Ring.
Into the graveyard.
I think I got nothing else. I will just move to my end step.
Mark's Rakdos deck had a crazy turn, and although he wasn't able to get through all of the counter magic and interaction we had, this feels very Nadu-esque in the way that even though he whiffed, he's still in like a great situation. He got to shred apart 2 blue players' hand. He still has a ton of mana. The One Ring, his commander's still in play. He still has the Poxwalker ready. So like, although he's got no hand and he wasn't able to win that time, I don't think he's out of the game just yet.
He's not going to untap from behind. A lot of times you get stopped and you untap from behind. That's not what's going to happen.
Right,
here.
right. Go to my turn. Untap, upkeep, draw card.
Why must I forsake myself playing non-deterministic Storm?
I will play a Bloodstained Mire, and I'm going to crack it. 35. I'll go search. Here is Bayou. I'm going to look at the top with Glarb. I'll cast a Phyrexian Metamorph, paying 2 life. It's a One Ring. Cast trigger. I have protection. I think it's worth it for me to activate right now and draw 1 card.
I would like to respond. I would like to activate Rakdos, sacrificing one of my Grief copies. I'll target you for 4.
Oy, okay, yeah. Deadly Rollick, Flooded Strand, Legolas's Quick Reflexes, Mox Opal.
Christ.
Oh, baby.
Yeah, okay.
Oh my god.
I'm good with that.
Not only am I sad to see Legolas's quick reflexes that can protect the Rakdos here, but this Deadly Rollick is also especially sad because Seedborn Muse is my whole plan for my upcoming turn, and now that I know that it's just for free there, I gotta totally pivot.
Yeah, I was hoping to use that removal spell on one of Mark's things like his Rakdos. So why didn't you? Why didn't I? I could have, in response to Rakdos exiling the Deadly Rollick from top of my library, I could have cast the Deadly Rollick from top of my library because I had Glarbs out. Why didn't I just do it then? I could have, I wanted to, I should have. I'm just not used to playing with Glarb. Sorry about that. Should have cast Deadly Rollick from top of my library with Glarb in response to Rakdos targeting my library. Oops. Back to the video. But obviously this is like, he saw me get excited to see the card on top. He's like, maybe I should get that in case. It's also relevant to know that Rakdos can cast things for mana of any color. So that Legolas's quick reflexes, you can just cast that with like a colorless red or black or something like that. It's he can still cast it anytime.
It's really good.
So they're just there, and now I have a One Ring to draw. Draw the card. Look at the top with Glarb. I can't cast these. You can.
I get to.
That's it from me. I have 4 cards in my hand. I'm gonna pass. I'm just gonna move these guys.
That works for me.
On my upkeep, One Ring triggers, I go to 33, and then the Mana Vault triggers, I go to 32. 3 cards, please. All right, Exotic Orchard is my 5-color land that I'm playing. Man, knowing about this Deadly Rollick is a huge poopy stinker. Cast a Birds of Paradise. Bloom Tender, then 2. Go to discard. Green Sun Zenith and Arid Mesa.
Oh, I'm gonna fetch, I guess. I forgot about that part. And my turn. Untap. I'm gonna pay. Drop for turn. Okay. I'm gonna shock Watery Grave, going to 34.
I missed my chance. It's okay. I had intended to sack Poxwalkers and Cam's End Step, but it'll be fine.
Lotus Petal.
Polywog Prodigy trigger. I will draw.
Cast Lion's Eye Diamond. You can draw again.
That's another one for me.
It took Dylan 6 turns, but he's finally catching up.
Cast an Imperial Seal.
Polywog Prodigy trigger.
Yeah, you got it.
I'll respond.
No.
Why not?
Okay.
What are you gonna get? You wanna tell me?
No, I don't want to tell you.
Mind break drop it. Oh no.
Ah! Should I give him a Secret Mora?
Yeah, you can draw.
Okay. I'm gonna go combat. I'm gonna swing at Camp for 2.
I'll take 2.
Make a treasure.
30's my life total.
I have 8 cards in hand. I'm going to move to my end step.
I got effects. I'd like to sack this Poxwalkers by activating Rakdos. Rakdos trigger, targeting myself for 3 cards. Vault of Whispers, Entomb, and an Emergence Zone.
Discarding a Bloodstained Mire.
Untap, upkeep, lose a grand total of 4. 3 from One Ring, 1 from Mana Vault. Draw a card for turn. Let's activate my One Ring to draw 4. Let's cast this Ingot Chewer.
I'll lose a life. I'm gonna cast Banishing Knack, targeting my Polywog Prodigy. I waited too long to interact multiple times this game. Should have just preemptively saw into the future a little bit more. I think I waited and I gave Mark enough time and resources and mana to be able to stop what I was doing.
He has too many tools now, right? Yeah, because this Ingot Chewer is going to get him 5 more cards, too.
Yeah.
I have a trigger.
I would like to respond to the trigger. 1 colorless floating. I'd like to cast an Untimely Malfunction in the mode change the target of a target spell or ability with a single target.
Fish trigger.
Fish trigger is good.
Draw a card.
I would like to change the target to this Grief here.
Banishing Knack has targeted the Grief Mystic Remora trigger on my Banishing Knack.
I'm just gonna immediately respond to the Mystic Remora draw by trying to bounce the Mystic Remora to your hand.
That is fine. Yes, I have no response.
I'm good on the trigger.
Draw a card.
ETB, target KM's Arcane Signet.
Sure, I'll float a green.
I'm gonna keep priority on its sacrifice trigger and cast a Burnt Offering, sacrificing it.
Polywog Prodigy trigger. Too small. I feel too small in this situation. Mark's doing all this shit. 19 cards off the top, another 400 cards and 17,000 mana. And I'm like, 1 card from my frog, please.
Rakdos trigger as well for 5.
I'll draw first and then, yeah.
Resolve Rakdos, myself for 5 cards. They are Ragavan, Blood Artist, Boggart Trawler, Cabal Ritual, and a Diabolic Intent. Make 5 black. I will represent that by putting it here on Rakdos. Land for turn will be this Vault of Whispers. 2 of the mana to cast this Cabal Ritual. On cast, there is a Poxwalker trigger to come back. 3 plus 5 is 8.
Is that die all the way on the right? That Soul Ring, is that colorless mana?
That is floating colorless mana. Let me represent that by this dice. Now let's activate Rakdos, sacrificing this copy of Grief. Rakdos trigger 4 more cards. Culling the Weak, Dual Caster Mage, sacrifice Deflecting Swat. Let's tap this Vault of Whispers, Culling the Weak, sacrificing this Poxwalkers. Rakdos trigger, and then there is also a Poxwalker trigger because it is in graveyard as Culling the Weak resolves casting.
I have 1 frog trigger to draw a card off of culling.
Valley Flood Caller. I'm gonna cast an instant speed mnemonic betrayal.
I would like to cast Dylan's Deadly Rollick. Target will be the Valley Flood Caller. There is a new Poxwalker trigger to come back.
So Poxwalker's back.
Gets exiled.
Deadly goes to my graveyard.
We are back to Mean Bet on the stack. I would like to respond by casting this Dual Caster Mage.
That was coming, yeah.
In response to the Dual Caster Mage cast, I'm going to fire off this Noxious Revival, targeting my Mindbreak Trap. Someone has cast 3 spells this turn, right?
Oh, yes, for sure.
Yes, going to 30.
I'm good with that.
Noxious Revival puts Mindbreak Trap on top, and Glarb allows me to cast 4 mana spells from the top of my library. I'm going to just exile Dual Caster Mage. That's my only target.
Cast this Sacrifice, sacrificing this Poxwalkers.
I have another Frog trigger.
There's also a Poxwalker trigger to come back from the sacrifice. There's also a Rakdos trigger for 3 more cards. And I'm good on the draw, yeah.
We'll draw. Yes, that's good.
Poxwalker comes back. Rakdos trigger for 3, targeting myself. Verdant Catacombs, Hoarding Broodlord, and a Valky. Sacrifice is going to make 3 black. Back to Mindbreak Trap. I would like to cast this Deflecting Swat.
Deflecting Swat, targeting my Mindbreak Trap. I'll pass.
I'm gonna pass on this.
I mean, I could sacrifice LED. That's the only I can do.
I would like to change the targets to just the meme bet.
The Mindbreak Trap is now targeting Meme Bet, and that resolves.
Exiled.
Dualcaster Mage is back on the stack.
Dualcaster Mage back on the stack. ETB, I'll target my Culling the Week. I'll go up an additional 4. My Rakdos trigger for 4 cards good to resolve. Demonic Tutor, Polluted Delta, Orcish Bowmaster's Arcane Signet.
And then I think my Polywog trigger is on.
Yes, you have a Polywog trigger. I'm good with it.
I'll draw. Look at the top. Okay, I am good on culling.
Go up an additional 4, so I go up to 18 mana. Let's also cast this my own Deadly Rollick from hand. We'll target the Polywog.
I'm gonna Surveil 2 with Glarb right now. Let's bin 2 lands. Yeah, that's great.
Cast this Valky. ETB trigger.
I got a Force of Vigor that has, I only have 1 green card in my hand and it's a creature, so it's gonna go. I gotta blow it now. I don't think anything does anything, right? Just confirming, I'm not seeing anything.
No, I guess you just blow up Mark shit then.
I do also have an artifact land.
I'm in the land for spite. I'm gonna Force of Vigor, pitching the Bloom Tender, and I'm going to target your Vault and your Soul Ring.
Yeah.
And then I pass. Honestly, looking back, I feel like this is just what now I just feed a potential Underworld Breach.
Underworld Breach is already countered, didn't you?
I did, but he can get somebody else's Underworld Breach with
yeah,
Praetor's Grasp
true.
maybe or something. I don't even know if this was actually anything. This might have been a net negative to do.
Reveal the hands.
4 lands and the 1 ring.
Ooh, a Seedborn Muse. Let's rip Cam's Seedborn Muse, Luca's Opposition Agent, and then nothing will be exiled from Dylan. 2, and cast this Diabolic Intent, sacrificing Poxwalkers. There is a Rakdos trigger, a Poxwalker trigger to come back on top of the Diabolic Intent.
Good. You know what? You see what I got, so I'm passing from here on out.
Poxwalkers will come back, resolve the trigger to look for 3 cards, Vamp Tutor, Chrome Mox, Talisman, resolve the tutor. Find this card, use some of my obscene amounts of mana, cast this Mind Slicer, Demonic Tutor. Find this card, cast this Warren Soul Trader. Activate the Warren Soul Trader, sacrificing this Mind Slicer. Rakdos trigger, Mind Slicer trigger, and a treasure token.
Let's Abrupt Decay targeting Soul Warden in response.
I'll use one of my mana to cast the Legolas's Quick Reflexes, targeting it.
Oh, that's fucking sick.
Mind Slicer trigger.
Bitch on my hand.
I'm discarding just this Wooded Foothills.
Just taking a second to point out how fucking nuts Mind Slicer is in this deck, because you don't need your hand. Rakdos doesn't need his hand. The hand is the exile that you're going through, so getting rid of everyone's hand is basically like a Grand Abolisher, but like way cooler and more fun.
Yeah, way cooler. Yeah, and it fuels your Underworld Breach too, if that's something that will come up.
I should have my treasure now, and then I have my Rakdos trigger. Holding priority, I'm gonna use one of my mana to cast this Vampiric Tutor. Find this card to put on top, resolve the trigger to exile top 4, Ashnod's Altar, Animate Dead, Ancient Tomb, and a Dracula's Tomb.
Those are all the cards that Beseiju was going to be good against.
Let's sacrifice Poxwalkers to Warren Soul Trader, resolve the Rakdos trigger for 3 more, Priest of Gix, Golgari Thug, and Jessica's Will.
Jessica's Will so bad now. Take that.
Spend 3 to cast Priest of Gix. ETB will make another 3, and then now I think I can safely do it by sacrificing this. Another life, another 3 cards. Gamble, Pinnacle Monk, Marsh Flats. Okay, we're gaming now. We're gaming. Cast this Ashnod's Altar. Cast this Golgari Thug. Cast this Blood Artist.
You brought the Poxwalker back with that too.
There's a Poxwalker on like 2 of these casts if I would like to make 2 more mana. What I'm going to do is activate Ashnod's Altar, sacrificing Golgari Thug. I'm going to stack it so that the Rakdos trigger is going to resolve after the Golgari Thug death trigger, which will put it back on the top of my library. Blood Artist will trigger and drain you guys, then Rakdos will resolve, exiling it off the top, and I'll recast it using the 2 colorless. And I'm gonna do this and drain all you guys. I can also exile your decks by getting Poxwalkers back out and stacking it to the Ashnod's Altar.
Are we dead?
Yeah, I think we're dead.
I can drain y'all, and I can exile your guys' decks.
We are pummeled into the dirt. So that was a crazy win. Number 1, quick thing is, if you'll remember remember 1,000 years ago, I cast the One Ring and do have protection right now. So I'm protected from those specific things that Mark said, but had I remembered that, Mark would have just been able to easily say, well, as I'm exiling the other two players' libraries entirely, he can just cast Thassa's Oracle from their library after he also exiles his own library. He also, there's an animate dead that he saw of Rakdos. He can reanimate the Thassa's Oracle that's in Luca's graveyard. There's 1,000 ways he could have just won without needing to care about the One Ring. That was on me. I just forgot that I still had One Ring protection.
But when you have access to 3 decks instead of 1, like, how you not gonna put something together here?
Exactly, yeah. So great win, Mark. Rakdos is a great deck once you can get it to really move and work like this. I mean, 5 mana for a commander is a lot, but the card does an insane amount of stuff. It's kind of weirdly like an ad nauseum in the command zone, right?
Yeah, all of the cards are just super synergistic with it too. So once Rakdos comes out, like, you have already set up so that you can really start to spin your wheels and really get out of control from there.
Yeah, it has card advantage, it has protection, it has a combo built into it with that one that we saw, like being able to go through your whole deck over and over again with the Golgari Thug.
And he's also a haymaker, so it kind of checks off 4 of the boxes that we're looking for.
Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to support us directly, you can just go on Patreon, like our $100 patrons.
Spangler, Larceny Roars, Your Boy Blue, Sparky B, Insomnia, SC Phillip, Olden Grumpy, Gecko21, Caleb Ritchie, Zach Hartley, Reactive, Sean in the Ice, Stormageddon, Luke Cook, Demon of Roscaries, Peter Stewart, Cornell Wild, Uncle Butts, Nick Foles, Go to 9, Quadjay Hamid, Lauren Connell, and Baby G-Bus.
If you want to pick up any of our merch, you can do that at playtowinmtg.com.
Huge shout out to Dragon Shield for supporting the show. Use our code PlayToWin5 at our affiliate link down below for 5% off.
You can follow us on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram for more content.
Thank you so much for watching.
See you next time. The $50 patrons are
Roy Turner,
Mystic Muffin Man,
Jacob Bauer,
Tyler Watson,
Tyler Coulson,
Zachary
Coulson,
Tyler H,
Smallcraft,
Jabaha,
Mace the Ace,
Dalton Poteet,
Hobo Ghost,
Justin,
Man Solo,
Jacob Depp,
Jan Wildfang,
Thomas Bueno,
and David Nelson.
Thanks, y'all. Woohoo. It's kind of this. All right, so although what I want to say is asteroid 3 syllables or 2? Asteroid? Asteroid.
Normally I would say asteroid as 2 syllables.
Do you say Garrick or Garuk?
I say Garrick.